Hello, welcome everybody. I am Marissa Momartz with Transition US and really happy to see you all here for our second Lunch and Learn session. Today we're focusing on the Inner Resilience Network and so happy to have so many of the folks from the Inner Resilience Network with us today. We know that the inner work is essential to our work in transition, and we're so grateful to all of the IRN folks for stepping up and holding that space in our work and our movement. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to you, Jewel.
Thanks, Marissa. Yeah, it's really wonderful to have you all here, and there's a few core members of the team that are here too, and some other more extended members, so we'll have a chance to hear from them. But how I thought we'd structure this lunch and learn is just an hour, so it's kind of like a power hour of information, but also a chance to hear from you. So we're going to start out, I'm going to give you a little bit of the history, the background of the IRN, and what we've been doing, how we started, what we've been doing, and what we are doing now, and then what we're planning for the future, some of the changes and the important evolution that's happening in the IRN. And then we're going to hear from a few of the members, just a little bit about what they're offering, what they've been doing with the IRN, or anything they want to share. I'll call on them, and then we're going to go over to you, and we're going to have breakout rooms to hear from you, a chance to share like what is most alive for you and what you're really needing and what kind of support you'd love to see, to be part of, to offer, to receive, to collaborate around. So really want to invite that kind of conversation into the room today as well. And then there'll be space for questions and answers, of course. So, and that will take us through the hour. So yeah, feel free to check in the chat, anything. I think before, Kat, who is here as the tech host, you be sure to ask her if there's any questions you have, tech questions or needs.
Jules, can you increase your volume, please? Mine's way up.
Oh, is that better? I'm not sure. Can you hear me now? Still, is it?
I can hear you, but it's low. I've already increased my volume.
You're still sharing computer sound. Maybe if you stop sharing, that would help.
Okay, I just did that. Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A little better, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so tech is Kat's your tech host, yeah, I'm just gonna temperature of the room here just real quick. Kat was just telling me that at the beginning of the DAF forum, her co-facilitator asked everybody if they were feeling despair, and I thought, wow, that's really, I don't think I'm going to ask that question, but I do want to ask everybody, if you know how to press on reactions, put your hand up or your thumb up. I just want to ask everybody in the room, if you're really feeling a need to get more support and just feel more connected around your inner and your interpersonal work in your life, that you feel, a desire to have and to give more support around that. Let's just see the gallery view here. Check everybody. Yeah, great. Yeah, we're all feeling lots these days. I think that's why we're doing the summit. So a little bit about the IRN. I'm going to go ahead and just share a little bit of the history. For those that are not familiar with transition's history, I'll go back even further and just say that transition began had this thing called the Heart and Soul, which was begun by Sophie Banks and Transition Network. And what really made transition unique, I believe, and a lot of people believe, was that we really recognized from early on the important aspect of the psychosocial, spiritual part of the human being, human experience on this planet. So not just about, okay, let's get out there and do these actions, which are very important and absolutely essential, but that we're a whole human being living, these lives together, and that we need to integrate that. So that was the intention from the beginning. And as transition has evolved, it was originally called Heart and Soul, and it still may be called that in some places, I'm not sure. Um, Galen, who's here, is part of the Inner Resilience Network. He and I are both part of the Inner Transition Circle in the Transition Network. So it's also called Inner Transition. But here we started to 3 years ago at the first convergence of Transition US in St. Paul. We launched, we had some workshops, and I had led a workshop there on sacred activism, and met a woman there that's a student of Joanna Macy, Rebecca Blanco, and I was saying, hey, we've got to start this on a national level. And so we cooked up a whole mission and vision for the Inner Resilience Network, and got it going. And we were holding monthly deep dives where we really embraced very, charged topics, like death and despair and grief, but also celebratory topics, so just gratitude and things like that. So we had these topics every month, and we just dove into them and just shared, and we came up with agreements and the space to really hold this in a really good way, and slowly evolved and developed ways of holding spaces that felt safe and felt deep and comfortable for people to kind of explore topics that, that it's really hard to find places to explore these topics. So that was very wonderful. And then Rebecca had to leave. She's still on the list, but she's been in a big transition herself, so she's not been able to be part of it anymore. Um, and we evolved to a new team, and we've had several members kind of coming in and out, and we've been developing our structure. We've held a lot more events, a number of series already. Earlier this year, well, I'll tell you who's in the core team right now is Scott Brown, who's here, Galen Myers, who may have one foot out the door, but we'll see, and Rob Wypond, who is in the middle of writing a book, a really important book on mental health, and Diana Kublios. I don't think Diana's here. I don't see her. She's going to be in a workshop later today, which I really want to recommend. It's going to be pretty powerful. So she's around, and she's also going to be teaching with Scott this Saturday. And Shanti, who is unable to be with us because unfortunately she lost a few family members to COVID, and she's been really in a deep process around that, as you can understand, I'm sure. So we have a small core team, and it's been growing, and we're getting new member possibilities coming in. And this Lunch and Learn, we're hoping that maybe some of you will be interested in collaborating. We have open meetings every month where anybody can come and talk about projects or be part of a project and collaborate on projects. We are structuring ourselves kind of as a cooperative, and we're getting to a place now where it's like getting more structure is important and necessary, so that we can sustain this this very important offering as part of Transition US, which I think more and more people are asking for, ways of bringing in the interpersonal communication skills. We did give a series, Shanti and Diana gave a series earlier this year on compassionate feedback and MVC. was very well received, and hopefully they'll be doing that again. And then bringing that kind of stuff into all the other spaces of transition and of our activism works. Like, I'm sure you all are well aware of how probably the one biggest challenge in activism work is how we get along. I mean, we have the greatest visions and the most amazing projects, but if we're not getting, if we have some difference of opinion, some power struggles, it's just natural. That's human. We may not know how to navigate that, and groups fall apart. And I've seen many of that groups fall apart. And if any of you have been in activism for very long, I'm sure you have as well. And so having really skilling up and changing the culture of activism so that it includes and it's woven into the fabric of what we do, not just what we do, but how we do it, how we hold caring spaces with each other, how we recognize each other as a whole human being in the work of changing, the regenerative work of changing systems, of doing all the good things that we're doing, that we're bringing our whole human selves into that. We're bringing our hearts into that. We're recognizing each other's need and for belonging, for compassion, for care, and so that we keep connected and we keep growing as whole human beings, as minds and bodies and spirits, you know. And that is the next step. That's really the next step of this whole movement, is weaving in the way and the how and the what of bringing in the inner work and the interpersonal work. So IRN isn't just inner resilience network, it's inter as well. And it isn't just resilience, it's regenerative. So we've kind of played with the name and the acronym, just so you know, you may see that. So I've spoken a lot, and I hope that's clear and encompasses kind of the gist of it. We will put the website in the chat, and there's also a newsletter you can sign up for to get all the announcements. And I want to share with you some of the things that are coming up that we're offering. One big important thing is a retreat in November. In-person retreat! Whoa! Like, not online. Yes! COVID safe, of course. So I want to pass the baton over to some of the other members that are here. Namely, we've got Galen and we've got Scott, and who else is here? Is Diana here? I don't think I see her. And then also invite Kat to say a few things about the deep adaptation. So I want to pass it to you first, Galen, if there's a few words you'd like to say, and if you don't want to, just pass it on.
Yeah, thanks, Jewel. Nothing specifically is coming up to say at the moment. I've done a really great broad overview of what we are and our purpose. And yeah, just to say that, as I put in the chat, it really feels to me like the inner dimensions, as Jewel said, is not just about the inner, it's about the inter, about the relational. It feels to me like those human dynamics, mind, body, spirit, soul, whatever words we put to that amalgamation of concepts that are all interrelated with each other. It feels to me that that's really the learning edge of humanity right now on all scales, for us as individuals, for us as groups, as communities, as nations trying to learn to relate with one another. And so really it's all about just creating the room that we can sit together and practice holding space for each other, practice deep listening. And there's no other way other than to work together to create those kinds of spaces where we can practice this. Because we can't just jump to where we wish we were. We've got to practice. So yeah, that's all I have to add, and I'll just pass it on.
All right, pass it over to Scott.
Thank you both. Thank you. Just to echo that invitation to join us, we're a small group, very intimate. And I've been with the IRN for, I don't know, 3 years now. It has flown, but it's fascinating to bring our different levels of training and experience together and really mix it up and have these big important conversations about how to promote the inner peace and to integrate that fully into transition. So it's been one of my pleasures to bring kind of a restorative justice focus to it all. And I've been on this path for over 15 years, coming from activism. So sacred activism is something that resonates a lot with me. So yeah, just welcoming you on board. And I'll pass it back.
Thanks, Scott. Um, yeah, and I'll just reiterate that Scott is offering this Saturday with Diane a morning session on cultivating compassion and transforming conflict, and then also again next Tuesday on healing dialogue process. So I'm looking forward to those. Yeah, Kat, do you want to say a few things? Just give a little quick overview on DAF and that part of the inner resilience.
Sure, yes. We had, so DAF is Deep Adaptation Forum, and this is a new partnership which got going, especially for this summit between Transition US and the Deep Adaptation Forum. There are some people here from that forum. Hi, everyone. We had a fantastic workshop yesterday explaining what DAF is all about. And I'll just give a very quick overview. Hope I'm getting this right. So the Deep Adaptation Forum is a large group of people. They have a Facebook group, Deep Adaptation, that has over 10,000 people on it. And it is a forum that grew around the work of Jem Bendel called Deep Adaptation. And now the Deep Adaptation Forum is sort of its own thing now and developing very quickly. And it's a wonderful group of people who look at these, despair and hopelessness and feelings of fear and distress and how to navigate those. And they have a wonderful framework that was created by Jem Bendel, the 4 R's. Resilience, relinquishment, restoration, and reconciliation. So there's many channels into the Deep Adaptation Forum, which is large. The Facebook group is one. And that group, there are some fantastic facilitators there. And a large offering of deep listening, etc. So we would like you to check that out as well. Thank you, Jill.
Thanks, Kat. Yeah, I didn't know some of that. That's really awesome. Yeah, so inner resilience encompasses deep adaptation, but also many other approaches and programs as well. We're actively aligning with other organizations and individuals that are facilitators, practitioners. So even though we are a small core team, we're a pretty extended network. And so there's many ways that you can get involved. We're structured in kind of a 3-level tier, which is the first level being just the network in general, just sign up for the email list. I put that in the chat and you'll get our announcements and be able to come to our events as you feel moved. Then the second level is the open meeting, and just come to the open meeting if you want to know more, like get more involved. That once a month open meeting is a really great way to get to know you. You get to know us. You can propose a project. You can propose a class or a workshop that you have experience doing and you want to offer through the IRN, and we'll partner with you. And so you can just work on that project. And through working together and through your own capacity and time and everything, you may find that it's a good fit for you to join the core team. And so the core team, we're kind of trying to be a reasonable number. 7 is a good number usually for a group like that. And we're definitely below 7, so we are actively recruiting core team members. But we'd like for people to have some admin skills and some, commitment level to, we meet once a month. And so we have the 2 meetings a month, one open and then one that's just the core team member meeting. So if you're interested in that, come to an open meeting, and then, we'll kind of go through that process. So that's the way to come to the to get to that level of involvement, if you're interested. And I hope you are. I hope some of you are. So what we have coming up is, besides all these wonderful mornings that I hope so, I see some of familiar faces here, and Janet's here. She's going to be giving a morning as well. Jen had a great morning this morning. Suzanne and Montgomery are going to be giving a morning Friday on empathic listening. So they're all been part of Inner Resilience Network, and they've all offered stuff before. And Montgomery's been a really regular Connection Cafe guy. So we have a Connection Cafe every month that'll start up after the summit. That's on the 3rd Monday, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Just come. It's different topic each month, and it's just a really great way to build community and connect. And now we have a new series that Scott and Diana will be doing on cultivating compassion, transforming conflict, which is a community of practice group. That'll be on the 2nd Thursdays starting in October. And you can see the descriptions on the website. I'll put somebody could put the website in the chat. That would be helpful. And we also will have, I do have this ready to go, the retreat, the Regenerative Activism Retreat, which is in November. That'll be in Joshua Tree, and it's featuring Animas Valley Institute's Wild Mind program, which is absolutely amazing. And this is such an incredible opportunity. If you have the ability and wherewithal to come, I would really encourage that, because you won't find this program available outside of their offerings, and it's twice the amount of twice the fee. They're doing this for us at a subsidized rate. So for activists. So it's just an incredible opportunity to come together to experience Animas Valley's Wild Mind 5-day retreat and the Inner Resilience Network, connecting to that. It's called the Regenerative Activism because we're sort of integrating that wild mind into kind of how we are doing our work. So come, join us, talk to me if you have questions about that afterwards, or by email, and happy to find ways to make it work for you. If the cost is even, a challenge, let's make it work. And that's true for all our offerings. Pay what you can, donation-based stuff, trying to make that work and sustain us. So yeah. All right. Cool. John's interested. Yay. I can't wait, honestly. I think it's going to be, I'm so looking forward to in-person stuff, I have to say. I mean, I love the Zoom stuff. It's awesome. I get to meet all of you. You get to, we get to connect, but I am looking forward to in-person. So we are exactly on time. Wow. Let's do some breakout rooms. I would like to ask a question now. I've talked a lot. We've talked a little bit about the IRN. I want to hear from you. We want to know what's going on for you. Like, what is most alive for you right now, like in terms of what you're needing support around, or what you'd like to see more of, having there be support around, or maybe there's something you want to offer. So what is most alive for you is the question around this subject of what brought you here to the IRN, this lunch and learn. What's on your heart?